Hello everybody and welcome to another video. In this video it's going to be my Air Tycoon 4 series, and yes, again continuing on with my quest to set up as many routes as possible between places which have at least 300 tour. And this episode I don't know if I did the same amount of routes as I did in the last episode. I'm pretty sure it was close enough to it. I don't know exactly, but yeah, I think it's like around like 40 routes, maybe in 50, I don't quite know. But yeah, I did continue setting up all of these routes, as you can see. Just a quick thing about the footage, by the way, you will see that it is a high quality to begin with, and then it will drop down to a lower quality. Essentially what I'm going to be doing now is that I'm going to be recording with the high quality camera at the end bit, as you'll see there, and I'll explain a bit that when I get to the live action bit at the end of this. That will be with the high quality camera, but the time lapse, the rest of the time lapse will be with the low quality camera. That's just because I think it's just better for you to see me, what I'm doing when I'm talking and showing you stuff at the end, and then for the time lapse just have the low quality stuff, because you can kind of see what I'm doing, but you're not like paying like really close attention to every single little word and letter, but you can't really see on that one. So I am going to be doing this high quality footage that you're probably seeing now. I don't know when it will actually drop down to the low quality footage, because yeah, I don't know quite how I'm going to be putting this together, but yeah, it will eventually drop down, but that's just going to be what it's going to be for now on. So yeah, that was what's going to happen. So also one thing I forgot to say in the live action bit is that I actually did a couple more, I think it was 3 more routes, putting an extra 727 on. They were all going from Atlanta to Chicago, New York and Los Angeles. Haven't actually seen how they're doing. I will have to check next episode, but I just put those on just to see how they were doing, because yeah, Atlanta, Chicago and New York and Los Angeles all have at least 400 tours, so I thought there would be quite a lot of demand for flying there between those places. So yeah, that will conclude this little commentary bit, and yeah, just enjoy the rest of the time lapse. I just spat on my computer screen, and yeah. after recording on 2 separate cameras again and finally deciding on recording on this one, I've managed to put all of these routes in. Continued, as I said in that time-lapse, I'd imagine, setting up all the routes to 300 places. I will admit that I'd recorded all of that time-lapse footage about a week before time recording, in fact probably further along ago, I think. I might have done, I can't remember. But yeah, it was quite old in terms of recording this, but I did manage to set up quite a few routes with the 737 and just continued expanding the network across the US. So I did actually check where I went to last time, because I went and checked the footage because it was recorded a week ago, so I know exactly where I started setting up routes, and it was from Phoenix to Orlando. For some reason I always start in Phoenix, I don't know why. There we are, Phoenix to Orlando, just at the top there. So I went from Phoenix to Orlando, San Francisco to Las Vegas, Phoenix to Honolulu, Denver to Philadelphia, Toronto to Charlotte and Detroit, and Washington as well, Miami to Orlando, Phoenix to Washington, Washington to Charlotte and Detroit, Detroit to Houston, Washington to Las Vegas, Toronto to Philadelphia and Las Vegas, Las Vegas to Honolulu and Charlotte, Denver to Honolulu and Detroit, Charlotte to Philadelphia, Detroit to Philadelphia, Washington to Philadelphia, Philadelphia to Atlanta, and Houston and Phoenix and Miami. I'll scroll up quick enough here. San Francisco to San Diego, Phoenix to San Diego, Denver to San Diego, Houston to San Diego, Chicago to San Diego, Atlanta to San Diego to Honolulu. If this will actually scroll, oh god. San Diego to Honolulu, New York to San Diego, Toronto to San Diego, Charlotte to San Diego, Detroit to San Diego. See a theme here. Las Vegas to San Diego, Orlando, Miami, Denver, Chicago. Oh no, it's just Orlando and Miami to San Diego. And then it is Denver to Miami, Chicago to Atlanta. Oh, that was an extra 737. New York to Atlanta, because that was an extra 737. Los Angeles to Atlanta, because that was an extra 737. And Charlotte to Orlando with 4 aircraft on order. Now, I think that I got up to the point, because this was a week ago, as I said, I think I got up to a point where I can now order 3 737s in the summer and after Christmas. I'm pretty sure I can. Throughout the whole year I can order 2 now. That's just a blanket thing. Do you remember when I was like, oh yeah, I'm trying to get to a point where I can order 1 a year? Yeah, 1 a year? Where I can order 1 every month. Yeah, I've completely surpassed that. I'm now getting on 3. But basically what I'm going to do, you know how I was like before, I was like, oh, I want to set up all this long-haul routes. Essentially, when I get to the point where where I can buy 10 737s in 1 month, like pretty much every month, I don't know if it will, I don't know if I'll get to the point where I can do it every month, but if I can do it at least in the summer, or at some point, that's when I start doing my long-haul routes, because I want to get a stable short-haul network going, because that's where the main money's going to be coming in. So yeah, that's just what I want to get stable and done, and then I can focus on the long-haul and then try and sort that out, because that's a whole different ballpark that I can mess with. Basically, the reason why there was so many going to San Diego is that I thought San Diego was a destination which had under 300 tour, and then I looked on it, it's gone down now, but I remember when I did it was like 315 or something like that, but as you can see it's 307, so it is over 300, and it doesn't really matter if it drops below, like it can drop below by 200 then bounce back up again. I'm essentially wanting to connect up all the popular places first, because then I can get all that money coming in like that. And then afterwards, I can then start going to 200 places. I'm sorry for the lag here, my tablet is quite slow when it first starts up. Basically what I'm going to do, you might have seen at the start of this episode, I don't know if I explained it at the time lapse, I think I'm going to leave all this stuff for me to explain. I started with this camera. I started the time-lapse with this camera, and then at a certain point of the way through that, I switched to my other camera. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using my other camera, the lower quality one, for the time-lapse, and then I'm going to be using this camera for me actually explaining stuff, because then it's high quality and you get to see it a little bit better, but time-lapse is kind of going quick anyway, so there's no real point in having high quality. So that's what I'm going to be doing from now on. And then there was something else I was going to say. Oh yeah, Air Tycoon 5. How could I forget that? Yeah, that came out, I believe it was like on the night of July the 31st. They did say it was going to come out on the 30th, like late July, and it was literally in the last few hours of July, so kudos to them there. But yeah, I just want to explain a few things about that. So, I did a poll. I can't remember when it was either on the Q&A or the Update 53, one of them videos. And I did a video, I did a poll on that video saying, do you want Air Tycoon 4 Series 2.5 to carry on after Air Tycoon 5 comes out? Or do you just want me to play the game until Air Tycoon 5 comes out and then just continue, like, just stop the series straight up and just move on to Series 3? I looked at that. There was probably only a few people that responded, but it was quite overwhelming for just carry on Air Tycoon 4 Series 2.5.
and then just move over to Air Tycoon 5, because I mean, we're already in 2010, and what's this, like the 7th episode? We've got a third of the way through in 7 episodes. That means this is going to be over in 21 episodes, if we get at this rate, so... yeah, it will be a short series, but hopefully it's going to be pretty jam-packed, probably because it's because I've converted all the time-lapse now, so it's going to be a lot quicker. And that's what I'm going to be doing in Series 3 as well, which I'm thinking is probably going to be my last Air Tycoon series, because after that, I'm going to have to start my GCSEs, because it's the summer right now, and I don't have to do anything, but then after that I will do. I'll carry on with this series until it's finished, and then I'll play Air Tycoon 5. I'm actually going to, I think what I'll do is that I'm going to be doing a video going through Air Tycoon 5, showing you what I like about it, showing what I think could be improved on it, like having a little play around with my own airline. Then I'll go into it with Series 3, because I don't want to jump in Series 3 cold if I don't really understand the game, because it should be similar to Air Tycoon 4, I know. But there'll be like slightly different mechanics and updated ways of doing stuff, and like there's certain ways that I like replace aircraft on here and put aircraft on routes, and it's just a routine that I've got into for years. And it's going to be changed in this, obviously, because they've updated it for Air Tycoon 5. So, yeah, I am going to have to just play the game a little bit before I actually start a new series on it. But, yeah, I think we'll make the Series 3 progress a lot quicker, so I'm not just going, what does that button do, all the time. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't know how many routes we eventually set up. I think what I'll just do is I will go through the turns. Because I don't have enough money for an extra 737, I believe I probably just ordered the planes. I set up routes, ordered the planes, and then I just left out there and saved it. Yeah, I think, when did we start? Like 2009? And we're only in 2010, and we've probably set up almost the same amount of routes as we did in the previous episode, which is from like 2007 to 2009, so we are really condensing the amount of routes that we're putting in, not for just how quick I'm doing it or how much time that's a record, simply because that we're now ordering more planes per month, and that we can actually properly get all these routes in very, very quickly. Properly get these routes in, yes. Properly get them in. But yeah, I can't really think how many routes of 300 tour are left. I think that what I'll do is next episode, I'll just set them up, and then at some point I'll just say, oh, that's all of them done, and then I'll just start setting up routes with places to 200. I'll probably go from like New York, Chicago, Atlanta, and places like that to the 200 places, because I want to go from like the really, really popular places first to like the medium popular places, if you know what I mean. I don't want to go from like the low 300s to the 200s. I want to go from like the high, like the 400s to the 200s, if you know what I mean, because that's just more demand for travelling. So I will be doing that, and I'll just like move on to that sort of thing. That'll probably be next episode, I don't know, it just depends how many routes I have left to put in with 300 tour, which I know there is still a few, but there's not really that many left. I pretty much covered everything. I know there is still a few left remaining, because basically, I don't know if I showed you before, what I do is I just go on a city that's popular, and then just see how many routes I serve from that. So yeah, this is pretty much covered in all of the 300 places, if you will excuse the lag here. And yeah, I believe that is. Oh, I mean, I can get to. I think the only place I really can't get to, if I can find it, is it further north? Yes, it's further north. It's Honolulu, because how far is that from Atlanta? Yeah, like 4,400 miles. I can't serve routes like that because simply the plane doesn't have enough range, and I don't really want to upgrade it. It's just, nah, I'll just ignore that. It's fine. I want to get as many routes as I can covered with this plane, with the capabilities it already has. I don't want to like have to upgrade them all the time just to get to a destination. I'm like, right, that's just out of range. I'll move on to the long haul sector that I'll be using for that, because yeah, I'm still in like some sort of mind of what aircraft to choose, because there's essentially 3 to choose from if I do it. I don't really want to do it until the new generation of aircraft come out, so I won't be using like 767, A330, but I mean, I have the choice between the A330neo, A350, and 787, and I don't really want to use the 787 because I use that in a UK group, the basis for this airline that I showed you in that video, which I'm pretty sure I like hark back to every episode. But oh yeah, I remember now. I stopped here. I think I was going to go through July, but I wanted to stop here, if it hasn't crashed. No, it hasn't. I wanted to stop here because I just want to see how much profit I've got, because I believe I could exceed 300 million, although I don't know. I'm just going to have a quick drink while this loads. 307 million. Yeah, that's the highest we've had. That is, we're nearly at 200 million passengers as well. I think it was about 250 million or 260 million, something like that, that we hit when I was in that time lapse. I don't know how far I actually went there, but we now have 161 routes. Apparently that was only one route then. That was only one route. Apparently I'm not ordering 2 aircraft every month. But I'm running 3 in the summer. So yeah, I mean, at one point I had like 6 aircraft ordered at one time. Oh god, here come all the airports that need them counters and offices in them. So yeah, I ordered 2 there. That would have been from what's that, May. So yeah. So, these are good problems to have, like constricted counters and like, oh, I'm not ordering enough planes, so I'm like, these are good problems to have. It's just showing that I'm like constantly expanding into this in these route networks. In fact, in Miami, that was just about 100,000 passengers. It was only just over there. Basically, what I'm going to be doing is if it's over 150. If it's over 150,000 passengers, then I'll put in a like a maintenance base. I won't actually be doing anything like fuel, or I won't be doing lounges, because I don't have first class, and I don't need them in every place. Like in certain places, I have got them in, like Los Angeles, quite obviously, and then places like Atlanta and Chicago and New York and places like that where I've got loads and loads of routes. So yeah, they are in quite a few places, but not in everyone, because like some places like Chicago, there's a bunch of places which are really, really near it, or even New York. So, I mean, look, you can go to Philadelphia, Washington, and Charlotte, and Chicago, and Detroit, and Toronto. Like, they're really close, so they're going to have loads of slots. But then somewhere like Los Angeles is going to go all to those cities, and it's only going to use, like, 11 or 12 or something like that. As I'm here, I might as well set just 2 of these routes, because I've just got these 2 aircraft here, and I really want to see the August profits, because that's when you really get to see the profits of your airline. And then I've actually found that by the time that, if I expand quick enough, by the time it gets to Christmas, I'm almost making the same amount of money in the summer. And I remember I was always like, oh, that's a bad thing. That's not actually a bad thing, that's a good thing. If you're making almost the same amount of money as you are in Christmas, because Christmas is meant to be for, like, less profit than in the summer, like in August, but you still get nearly the same amount of money. That shows that you're expanding. That shows that you're still getting more money out of all those routes. Don't know why I thought that was a bad thing. I think what I'll do is I'll go from... Where should I go from? I think I'll go from like Miami or Orlando, because they seem to be the least connected cities on the network, so I kind of avoided them. I went for the more popular places. Here we go. I've got like Toronto and Washington and Philadelphia still yet to be connected to the network. So, I mean, as I said, I'll just go on a city and I'll find a few that I haven't, just because I've been focusing more on like the really popular places, and then I'll overlook these, and because I then just cycle through to the even more popular places, and I just completely ignore it. I set up like one route from an airport to another, and then I'll see from that other airport that there's more routes I need to do. I did not check any of the miles on that route. Will that be a 20? Oh, I'll have one as a 20. Basically, I've kind of got down to the art of slot guessing now. Basically, 1,000 is 20, roughly, and then 500 miles is about 25, give or take a few. And then also 1,500 miles isn't actually 15, it's more like 14 or 13. It's a bit weird. So why didn't you do that? I pressed max. There we go. No idea what that was doing then. As I said, it's just slowing down a little bit. So I need to put some counters in. I also realised that when I put in the counters and offices, like the demand actually goes down. So you'll put in these, and then in some airports, I remember I saw it was like 60% before, and like the previous couple of months I put in some counters, and I was like, did I screw that up? And then it's just because the demand just drops away, and I think that was just to do with when I had like DC-10s on my route and stuff like that. But I don't know. Right, is this going to be it? 19, whatever. That's fine. Let me just put down the business class, because, as I said many times before, Miami doesn't have that high business, so I just put the cost down just a little bit. Yeah, I just put the business class cost down a little bit, just because it's not much demand, but the economy can stay at full price. So I've just put them on, and the noodle soup. That's out of the route with that. And there we go. And I did see another route as well. So if we go from Orlando to... Which is the most popular out of these two? It's... If I can actually tap on them. Washington's got that. Philadelphia's got that. I'll go to Philadelphia because it's more consistent. That's usually, like, what to do. Like, the game actually found... Oh, that's got 400 tour, I've just realised. What the game does, apparently, like, the more consistent the business and tour are, then, like, the more consistent your profits. It's a weird thing that the game does. So, in fact, I need to take out the thing out of Toronto, and in fact, what I'll do is, because I've got a slot there, and I've also got one at oh, don't matter. I was going to say I'll go to Miami as well. I'd have to get rid of a slot in Miami, because I was thinking, I could save myself some work, but... Don't really need to, so, right, let's just get that route in from Orlando then. We'll go to, what did I say, Philadelphia. If you're wondering about Boston, has I got to 300 yet? No, it's just 285. I'm just leaving that for now, but that will probably be one of the first routes that I set up with. when I eventually connect it onto the network when I move over the 200 tour. But they'll basically be like massive connections from popular cities to just one place in one go. It'll be like that San Diego thing that I did. So that was 864. I mean, you'd think that'll be 22, but sometimes it's not. I'm gonna guess it's 22, and that's the wrong way. Well, than me. So yeah, if I just put 22 in there like that. Yeah, I'm gonna guess it's 22. It's like 822. Like I have the ways which I think the routes are going to be, but it's not always the case. It does fluctuate a little bit. So yeah, I try and get it as best as I can. I usually do get it like within 1 or 2. It's usually on point a lot of the time, but if it's not, it's usually just out by 1. Right, how many slots are in this one then? It is 21. See, there you go. And I did too many slots in Orlando, I just realised. Shouldn't have done that. How long have I been recording for? Nearly 20 minutes. Whoops. I'll probably edit this down a bit because I do tend to ramble, which I've been trying to cut down on. Right, just a kid's gift on there to complete the cabin service. There we go. And then just put noodle soup, which should put that up to 100%. And there we go, we'll open that route up. Oh, I need to get rid of the slots in both places, don't I? So yeah, after that, we'll just have a look at our profits and we'll end the episode because it's already gone on for far too long, I think. I originally tried to get the episodes around 25 minutes, and every time I did, it always ended up being 20, so I think I'm just going to go for 20 now. This episode might be a little bit longer, but oh well. It doesn't matter, you can hear me talk for a little bit. I've tried to cut down on the amount of rambling that I've done, because I actually realised from my unboxing videos that I was rambling a lot, where I just, like, most of the video, I just, like, took it out of its box and just explained random things, so... I tried to cut down on that. So right, let's just see if I can just let's see if there's any extra slots left in those airports. No, and my tablet is absolutely burning. So much money we make. I'm waiting for the economic crisis because I think there is going to be one. And 360 million. That's what did we get in July? It was like 307 million. Yeah, that will end it for this. Episode, I think there's nearly 2 million passengers, over 300 million in profit, simply with 737s on I want to say domestic services, well, domestic and regional services, because go to Toronto and Mexico City and like Vancouver as well, so not quite that, but yeah, almost complete domestic destinations being served, like the majority of them are. So we've got 163 routes as well, so yeah, we are doing quite well for ourselves. I've just realised now, look how much money we have. I forgot to order planes that time. Whoops. So... yeah, probably should have done that, and now I'm going to be ordering like 10,000 bajillion aircraft in one turn. Anyway, if I just remember to go on here. I am setting up quite a few routes to places, and that will continue as I continue to expand the airline. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video if you just watch that one as well. Bye!